The Ohio Bobcats gave Kent State a run for their money on Friday night, and when Kent State needed a bucket, they could rely on one of two guys to deliver. And those guys were Malik Jacobs and Sincere Carey. The duo combined for 35 points, and they scored some key buckets down the stretch for the Kent State Golden Flashes.
For their matchup against Shenandoah.
Yeah, Nick, the last time these two teams played was the opening round of the 2019 playoffs. And on that night, Waterford took home the win thanks to a big night from Holden Daly, and Friday night's contest was a similar story. Waterford not letting a little rain ruin their Friday night as they play host to the Zeps of Shenandoah. And on the punt here for the Zeps, Holden Daly fields the punt around midfield. He'll take it up the far sideline, and he'll return it all the way into the red zone.
The snowy and cold conditions did not stop this game from heating up as Warren JFK tried to mount a comeback late in the fourth quarter, down 14-0.
We have reporter Zach Paquette, who was out at that game to see how they would perform in their second game.
Yeah, Jacob, in 2019, the Eastern Eagles made the playoffs and were knocked out by Newark Catholic in the first round. Now, at the time, the 2019 season was considered the best in recent history. That was until this season. After making their first playoff appearance in 18 years in 2019, the Eastern Eagles came into 2020 with high expectations. After suffering a 14-point loss to Caldwell in Week 1, the Eagles played host to Trimble in Week 2 in a game that came down to the wire. Fast forward to the fourth quarter, tie game 7-7. Ridenour hands off to Steve Fitzgerald, and who's that? It's Blake Guffey with the football for the Tomcats. Takes it back to the Eastern 7-yard line, and Guffey would kick a 21-yard field goal to take the 10-7 lead. Now it's Eastern's turn to respond. Fourth and long here. This is the ball game. Ridenour takes the snap, rolls left, looking for his receiver, finds him, but he's a yard short, and Trimble would hang on to win this one, 10-7. From there, each game felt like a must-win for the Eagles. After beating South Gallia in Week 3, they had a pivotal matchup at Waterford with the fate of their season on the line.
Eastern Eagles soar into Wildcat Stadium looking for a huge conference win. Fourth quarter now, Eagles opt for a field goal, and it's good. It's 10-0 Eagles.
And on the onside kick, it's Newland fielding the ball for the Eagles, and they'll hold on to win 10-8 over the Wildcats.
To come up here and Waterford's a tough place to play, and to gut out a win just like we did, that was great. I mean, all our kids played really hard, and we just gutted them in.
But it wouldn't be smooth sailing just yet for the Eagles. Injuries to Connor Ridenour during the Waterford game and Blake Newland during the Southern game meant other players needed to step up. Brady Yonker stepped up at quarterback as Ridenour moved to tight end. In the backfield, Steve Fitzgerald emerged as the lead guy in a run-heavy offense. Eastern would finish the regular season 4-2, good enough to finish second in the TVC Hawking standings, their highest finish in a long time.
Every team I've had has played hard and they've done great, and it came to these guys and we finally got that rock like last year and this year, so we can get over the top.
The Eagles looked to ride the momentum from the regular season into the playoffs. They took on Caldwell, who beat the Eagles in Week 1, but it was Eastern who got the last laugh in this historic win. 11-seeded Eastern Eagles taking on 6-seeded Caldwell in this huge playoff matchup. Steve Fitzgerald again up the middle, fakes out the cameraman, but he'll score standing up 23 yards out, but Caldwell wouldn't go down quietly. Braxton Dudley fires a pass, finds Dawson Moore in the back of the end zone, 20-8 Eagles after the 2-point conversion. And on to the second half, Steve Fitzgerald, again, 21-yard score. It's 26-8 Eagles at this point, and they would hang on to win 26-14 for their first ever playoff win.
It's kind of a little overwhelming because, it's the first time this has happened. We want to keep it rolling. That's what we said. It's all the coaches. We don't want this to be the last week we practice. So hats off to the kids. That was just a meat grinder game, and they did a great job.
And like Coach Newland was saying, this Eastern team is just taking the season one game at a time, and they found themselves in a nice little playoff run. A very pivotal moment of this game was in the second half when Ohio led 55-44, From there, Ball State went on a 7-0 run to make it 55-51. Then the Bobcats answered with a 17-0 run of their own to extend their lead to 21. The Toledo Rockets are led by sophomore guard Ryan Rollins, who averages 20 points per game. But on Tuesday night, the Ohio Bobcats held Rollins to just 15 points, but Rollins was able to distribute the wealth, and 4 of the 5 Toledo starters scored in double figures.
Yeah, these two teams met Friday night with a chance to clinch a LCL Cardinal Conference title on the line. And Heath coming in looking for their 7th win of the season, and for the Newark Catholic Green Wave, they still have their eyes on a perfect season. Cece Hooks did most of her damage on the inside as she finished with a team-high 20 points and 16 rebounds. Erica Johnson and Kaylee Bambuel made an impact from behind the arc. Johnson finished with 16 points. After a gutty comeback by the Ohio Bobcats on Monday night, they have no time to waste as they'll be back in action Wednesday night when they take on the top-ranked team in the MAC, the Toledo Rockets. And the team is ready to embrace the challenge. While Gloucester may be known as a football town, a new team has found success here, the Trimble Lady Tomcats basketball team. The Lady Tomcats just completed one of their best seasons in the last 15 years, but the team didn't always have the same success it had this year. It wasn't long ago that the team had to cancel their season.
3 girls went down with injuries during their game against Miller, and another one was deemed ineligible. It's a sad day for girls basketball in Gloucester, as we regret to inform you that the Lady Tomcats will not be continuing their season.
It was a dark place, to think of, are we doing this right? You really start to doubt yourself.
Fast forward to this basketball season, and the Lady Tomcats have completely flipped the script. First TVC Hawking title since 2005. First sectional title since 2010. First district title appearance since 2006. All with a roster of freshmen and sophomores. The team was led by 4-star players, Jane Six, Emily Young, Brianna Osborne, and Laken Imler. Those 4 players contributed a lot individually and as a team.
Through the regular season, all 4 of them averaged in double figures. I think that's a pretty balanced team when you can say that 4 of your girls throughout the whole season averaged 10 or more points a game. That speaks volumes to them as individuals and as a team. Very unselfish. Of one game, we're throwing the ball in the post to Jane. They start to double. She's kicking out to the guards to hit shots. Laken's flying up and down the floor, getting fast break points and stuff like that. So it's an accomplishment to them, and I really think it's cool that they were able to accomplish that.
After the success from this year, Coach Richards hopes to build on it and establish a winning culture for years to come.
Losing the district championship, it was really tough, but, there's a regional semifinal, there's a regional final, there's sweet. We go to High State, and I tell the girls, I told them last year, I was like, wouldn't it be really cool to come back here and be playing for, in the Final Four? That would be really, really cool.
The Lady Tomcats' loss in the district finals to Peebles halted their quest to a state title run, and they'll look to continue their success in the next season. For Hardwood Heroes, I'm Zach Paquette. With the loss to Akron on Friday night, the Ohio Bobcats have now lost 2 of their last 3, and a big reason why is slow starts. The Bobcats are confident that they'll be able to turn it around come MAC tournament time. With a dominating win on Tuesday night, the Ohio Bobcats find themselves in a very pivotal point in the season. With a 17-3 record and sitting 2nd in the MAC standings, they now face 6 games in 12 days. Yeah, let's start with the favorites, the Newark Catholic Green Wave. 9 of their 10 regular season games were against teams that were in Division 6 and above, meaning they've played tough competition all year. Cole Cantor is looking to lead the Green Wave back to the Final Four this year, where they'll hopefully finally get over the hump and win a state title. The Bern Union Rockets will bring a high-powered offense into the playoffs that's averaging over 50 points per game. Only concern I have for them is their strength of schedule. Their best win came against Worthington Christian, who ranks 10th in Region 23. Have they been tested enough to make a deep playoff run? The Newark Catholic Green Wave come into the 2021 season as one of the strongest teams in Division 7, Region 27. After a 20-13 loss to Warren John F. Kennedy in the state semifinals, the team returns with a strong mindset.
We want to succeed. I feel like everyone wants to succeed, and we're all hungry after last year's state semifinal loss.
Here we go. Set. Here. Good. Square up.
After a 2020 campaign that saw them lose 4 games by 9 points or fewer, head coach Ryan Aiello is focusing on the little things.
You know, the attention to detail, making sure they're holding everybody accountable for doing their job. You know, I think when we focus in on those small things, take a lot of pride in that, do our job, that'll make up for some of the issues that we had that gave those very quality teams the opportunity to beat us.
Their 2021 campaign won't be any easier. For this Division VII powerhouse, their regular season schedule consists of only one team in the same division. Their other 9 opponents all come from Division 6 and above, but the Green Wave aren't backing down from the challenge.
We put it as a chip on our shoulder, you know. We're not one of the biggest teams in the LCL, but we feel like we can compete with any team we play. So we just have a chip on our shoulder every game we're going.
Reporting for Gridiron Glory, I'm Zach Paquette.
The trip to Crown City to take on the South Gallia Rebels, looking to get back into the win column. In the first Trimble drive, second offensive play from scrimmage, Tabor Lackey takes the handoff, or he'll keep it, go up the far sideline, untouched, 40 yards for the score, and it will be 7-0 Trimble, and he'll look and celebrate with his man, Austin Weiser. Look at that, look at those hops right there. And on their very next drive, it's Bryce Downs' turn. He'll take the handoff and go up the far sideline, 36 yards for the score, 14-0 Tomcats still in the first quarter. And on the very first play of the second quarter, Tabor Lackey, he'll roll out to his left and find his man Blake Guffey wide open for the 15-yard score, 21-0 Tomcats. And Nick, the scoring wouldn't stop there. A few drives later, Lackey, he'll look and throw it to the outside, find his man Will Freeborn, he'll make a guy miss. It'll be 33-0 Trimble at that point, and the score fest would be capped off by this 50-yard touchdown run by Bryce Downs. He'll cut it up the field, up the far sideline, make a guy miss, and it would be 40-0 Trimble at that point as they'd go on to win 40-0.
Net pulled Magyar puts the game on ice, and the Ohio Bobcats knock off the #1 team in the country and hand Lindenwood their first loss of the season. And a big reason why Ohio got win #2 on the season was freshman goaltender Max Karlenzik stopping all 37 of the shots he faced tonight.
Reporter Zach Paquette has the story.
Blake Guffey came into this season looking to have a strong senior season for the Trimble Tomcats. The tight end and linebacker was one of the main weapons for this Trimble squad with high expectations. After injuring his ankle in the offseason, Guffey was limited in practice and in game action. Guffey would tweak his quad in warm-ups during the John Marshall game, adding yet another injury for him to overcome.
It's been crazy. It hasn't been fun at all, especially for it being senior year, being my ankle and then now my quad. But it's definitely going to be nice being 100% again and be able to go out and just make a factor like I did last year.
Dealing with injuries can be tough for any athlete, and Guffey isn't trying to let it frustrate him, according to head coach Phil Fairs.
He's just not that kind of kid. He's he's still, even week 1, we don't win week 1 if we don't have Blake Guffey on the field, even though he is injured.
For Guffey, he is just trying to look on the bright side of things.
I just stay on the positive side. Like when I was hurt, I'd sit and I'd help the teammates. I'd be watching film and just helping each other so we can be the best possible team we can be.
Guffey is hoping to be back fully healthy soon so he can help lead Trimble on a deep playoff run. For Gridiron Glory, I'm Zach Paquette.
The Green Wave?
Yeah, Nick, I would definitely say so. As Coach Aiello said, East Knox's offense is all about a balanced attack. The Trimble Tomcats did a great job limiting the run, which forced the Bulldogs to pass the ball more. And fortunately for East Knox, it worked out really well for them. Peyton Lester had a great outing against Trimble, and what stood out to me the most about his game was his accuracy and patience. Lester was willing to hit the short routes, let his playmakers get some yards after the catch, and when the Bulldogs did decide to take shots down the field, Lester was there to lead his receivers and put the ball in places where only his receivers could go up and get the ball. You heard me mention his name before. Shane Knepp had 4 touchdown catches against Trimble, and I'm sure he'll be looking for more against Newark Catholic. And Newark Catholic's pass defense will have to be on point on Saturday night, but at the same time, they can't fully abandon defending the run because the Bulldogs can do that as well.
Right. Trimble came out fired up as always and ready to play. Each game is more and more important for them with playoffs right around the corner. Homecoming night and a pink out in Gloucester tonight. Big congrats to Peyton Spencer and Sawyer Coons for winning Homecoming King and Queen. Also, we have a Max Hooper sighting.